All right, we're back. Mostly. All right, let's see if anybody's stuck around. Let's kick off abstract again. Might be good over there. Let's see. Okay. If you're tuning in, drop me a comment just so I know you're here. I got a bot comment saying interesting content. Okay, should be in business shortly. All right, cool. All right, we're back. We're back. All right, sorry. Let me go throw the thumbnail on the video on YouTube. Apologies for that, guys. Dude, they're always doing work on the internet here. It's so frustrating. And like switching services is such a pain. But always, every couple of weeks, I lose internet here, and we're so close to the city, like Chicago. It's kind of crazy. Okay, let me see here. Apologies, guys. We'll get through it all. Still, we got time. We got time. Yeah, they're doing work in the area, I guess. You know what sucks is they used to hold off doing work till like evenings, right? But they do it during the day now, like assuming most people aren't working from home, like we used to have for a minute. They schedule a lot of work like in the middle of the workday, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But okay, almost ready. Katz, you had quite the day yesterday, so I'm looking forward to catching you up here. Okay, I think we're ready. There we go. All right, I see you boys here. Appreciate you, Zep. Who else? Dropkick, cool. Bang. What's up, Bang? Think we're good. Where'd I leave off? Was I glazing Hunter, or was I past that? Because I'm going to glaze him throughout the show. Yeah, I think we were past that. Tariffs. We were talking tariffs. Okay, D-Yank, what's up? Dude, I really want to make sure. So we'll have Jay Squiggle on today. Definitely want to get to Taproot Wizards before that, because that's a good, meaty chat. Yeah, cool. All right. I see everybody. Dead, I see you. Dead, how often do you watch, man? Because some of you guys I know don't comment every day, which is totally cool. But I'm always surprised that, it's people watch the show, which is cool. Like even Hunter saying yesterday he watches was fucking cool. Really, really cool. Tariffs next week, a week from today, yesterday, is when we find out like what that impact looks like. It's kind of a big deal. So, that is the only catalyst here in the short term. Other than that, look, this ties into the Taproot Wizard conversation. We'll start speculating on price on secondary. We'll see that tomorrow probably. And those catalysts matter a lot. Look, if people feel like we have some really, really good stuff coming ahead, price action wise, like in the short term, those cook. If they don't feel that, be totally honest, I'm not sure I feel anything super exciting out there in the market yet. I think summertime, later this year. But yeah, I wonder short term what that does for prices of something like Taproot Wizards. I'm like optimistic, but I'm not. We'll do price predictions, yeah. And Chorus Miner out there. Still, guys, doesn't stop this space evolving. This space growing. It's really maturing, and it's maturing quickly in front of us here, guys. Robinhood with a big announcement last night, and we're going to see a lot more of this, by the way, but Robinhood now getting into banking, also getting into AI, which is awesome. If we do a Swarm report this afternoon, we'll definitely be talking about that, but Robinhood announcing 3 pretty major new, we'll call them products, I guess, but Robinhood strategies, Robinhood banking, and Robinhood Cortex. Pretty freaking awesome, guys. Robinhood strategies is like advising services. Banking is banking. Pretty damn good banking. You expect a lot, guys. A lot, like Coinbase going exactly this direction too, right? Binance, all of these guys, same thing. Getting into banking here. Official Banks, pretty crazy. Also makes a ton of sense. It's going to be interesting not have to really, like, off-ramp your crypto, right? Your crypto's kind of just, like, lives in the same place, and there's these thoughts out here. I mean, we saw this from World Liberty Financial, talking about stablecoins specifically, and that within the next 12 to 24 months, you can spend your stablecoins everywhere, literally everywhere. And you'll do that by just keeping your stablecoins on platforms like this. I still wonder how DeFi is going to play into that mix, and if everything has to go to some degree KYC. Cats definitely want to talk about Kindred. Yeah, man, they're pretty great. They're pretty great. We can speculate away on that. In fact, I kind of want to jump to that stuff quickly, just have some fun talking NFTs. But yeah, Robinhood, Cortex, AI tools to help you with your investments too. Maybe trading. Maybe it's a tool to help trades, like autonomously trade. That I'm not sure. I don't think it's quite that yet. Although I think it all heads that direction. Looking at ETFs here, 89 mil in inflows in the Bitcoin ETFs yesterday. Good stuff. On the ETH side, 5.9 mil in outflows. We should check prices here. Let me refresh. Yesterday got spicy for a minute. Quick minute here. It looked like we were getting a little pumpy. Cats, they were, Kindred was a pretty cool opportunity for a minute there. I wonder how much life they got in them too. How much higher they are pretty interesting. Look at this in the past 24 hours, down just over 2%. We're looking at Bitcoin here, 86K. ETH falls under 2K. Down just over 3%. Solana 136, down 5%. And this I think is tariff related. Again, yeah. Next week's going to be a big week for us, guys. It really is. If those tariffs don't really materialize, I mean, I don't think that means we're off to the races anyways. But I think if they're pretty drastic, right, I think we're heading back down into the low 80s, maybe mid 70s. And again, no catalyst on the horizon here. We'll still see with these like SEC roundtables what comes from those, but again, there's nothing really on the horizon short term here. Big news yesterday from GameStop. This is a blast. This is the kind of thing that can maybe move the market a bit. GameStop. We saw they're going to hold Bitcoin in their treasury, but also announced they're raising $1.3 billion. Yeah, Zep, I didn't fire this off on Twitter. Just for the sake of speed here. No X stream here. In fact, I'd love to kill the YouTube stream and play some music while we're chatting on Abstract, but we'll keep it rocking. 1.3 billion to buy Bitcoin. Spicy. Now, what's interesting here, didn't think about it right off the bat, I should have, but GameStop, world famous meme stock at this point, right? Like the whole movement was birthed around GameStop stock. And really makes you start thinking about what if those same guys with Roaring Kitty and, their coordinated pumps and shorts and all that, like, what if they turn their attention to Bitcoin? Not that anything stopped them from doing it before, but these are the guys who gamified the stock market. It's been done before, but gamified it in a very, social way. And so what if they turn their attention to Bitcoin? No reason they can't push the price of Bitcoin up a lot and push it the other direction. And it is super interesting what could be. Don't know if it happens, but GameStop in Bitcoin has a lot of potential to be kind of spicy. Michael Saylor tweeting about it. Everybody tweeting about it. Missed opportunity not doing. What's the new anime thing happening out there with ChatGPT? Is it Ghibli? Someone tell me if I even say that right. Ghibli? Missed opportunity to not make it like that style here, but I bet somebody did it. But Sailor, bullish on that. I am too. Pretty cool. And then Wyoming, guys, issued a state stablecoin. Dig this, stablecoins. You will hear stablecoin unrelentingly over the next few years here. Everyone will have a stablecoin. Everyone. I wonder, look, I always had this thought, and I still think this will play out. Everyone will have a meme coin. Everyone will have a fungible token. Meme coin, utility coin. Could it be a stable coin too? I hadn't thought of that. I bet you could. I bet you could. Is there a reason to do it? Probably 99% of them no. Does that stop anybody from doing it? No, not really. And the idea here is like, look, a meme coin, a utility coin in my family. Picture my kids are younger, and just to teach them about, let's say, strategy a bit and budgeting and finance and just responsibility. I always thought it'd be cool to have a coin for my family, and I give the kids an allowance in this coin. And let's say my brother Henry does the same thing with his kids. And let's just say we start building out our own little family economies. And we make it where, like, hey, for anything with his fam, my kids can spend their token, his with mine, all that. Just would be fun. I wonder if that ends up being something more like a stable coin as opposed to, a meme coin that can kind of fluctuate. Again, there's so many other factors there that affect the value of it. But anyway, I mean, there's going to be a lot of stable coins, a lot. So seeing this, Wyoming with their own state stablecoin really makes me think. And then we got to start thinking about, too, what does that look like? Does that bring us kind of in that territory of like, not quite a CBDC because it's such a smaller scale, but like still thinking if that's a great idea or not. We'll see. More companies adopting Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin. We'll see more and more and more of this. It is just such an obvious thing that's on the horizon, and it's here. French company, the Blockchain Group, bought 580 Bitcoin. That's $47.3 million worth of Bitcoin. Everybody's buying this stuff, dude. Look, we will see this impact supply in a very tangible way at some point. We're still kind of early, but that changes with stablecoin regulations here. It does. A few other things too, but yeah, there's going to be some kind of supply shock coming to Bitcoin. It will happen. Hyperliquid, what a story. What a wild story out of this yesterday. Katz, you might not have caught this. If you were away yesterday, you might not have seen this, but pretty wild here. Okay. We'll follow this tweet to break it down. TLDR is somebody gamed Hyperliquid. Took out a long on that meme coin Jelly. Also shorted it on Hyperliquid, manipulated the price, and almost attempted to liquidate Hyperliquid, the platform itself. There's little pieces of this that I still need to wrap my head around, which is like, if you take a position, let's say the short here, there's a way you can exit your position and leave the platform holding your position, owing that money on the loss. Don't know how that works where you can get out of the position, but also Hyperliquid's responsible for it. Still, that I'm not super clear on, but that is the situation that was set up here. So this person, by the way, we know basically who that was, and it's scandalous. Oh man, it's pretty awesome. So spot long position, a $6 million perp short on Jelly Jelly. This is a $20 million market cap token. Crazy. Forced liquidation on his own short by buying Jelly. Goal, make Hyperliquid inherit a toxic position. Again, that's the part I'm not totally clear on why they inherit it. Trader pumps spot price hard. Pump this up to like a 50 mil market cap, guys. Jelly up 429% in an hour. They did get liquidated here, but Hyperliquid assumes that risk, those losses are on them. So there it is. Hyperliquid is forced to take on that short position. They keep it open by continuing to maybe add to that position. Bleeding funding, eventually face liquidation. If they're liquidated, though, and if this hit a certain price, potential huge hit to their entire vault, supposedly. And so the solution to this was actually equally awful, which is these guys in a very centralized way decided, we can't let this fly. What are we going to do? We're going to lock in Hyperliquid at a specific price, a much lower price, and then we're going to remove it from the platform. Oh my God, dude. They actually made profit on this. Wow, I didn't realize that. They actually made money on that. So they unrigged it. It's kind of crazy, guys. These decentralized platforms kind of mostly aren't. Well, we'll say Hyperliquid kind of mostly isn't. The fact that they can just go change the price. And, dude, in theory, you can do that on these blockchains. You can roll them back. You've got snapshots. You can do that. really doesn't happen much, but it's possible. Scandalous, though. The part that's so scandalous, though, and here you go, you see it when that happened. Price dropped 10% in a very short window of time. Again, crazy, crazy, crazy. Look, expect more gamification of that platform, although, you know, I think they're going to look for ways to patch some of these holes, and it's kind of some of the growing pains. But the who did it is what's so scandalous, because right around that time, Binance announced their listing jelly. Kind of a, look, it's not a nothing token, but also, why jelly? Why jelly? It's looking a lot like Binance are the ones who actually took that short. Also bought that spot long position, like manipulated the price. It looks like it was Binance who was looking to maybe bankrupt, just absolutely nuke Hyperliquid. That feels like a very Binance thing to do. I don't... These major exchanges, and we'll just point right at Binance, kind of problematic. Hoods, how do you say that? Ghibli, can you, like, phonetically type it out? I think I say it right, but I think. Again, Hyperliquid announcing that in their Discord, how they were rolling it back, basically. Again, Jelly now removed from the platform. But yes, Binance. Binance seems to be the ones that actually manipulated that platform here, looking to knock out their competition. I don't know how you guys feel about it. You know, I'm not sure I mind. I'm not sure I mind. There's a game to the game. I don't think that flies with everybody, though, but yeah, part of me respects the game. And is it manipulation? Yeah, and is it against the rules? That's the part I don't know. That I'm not sure about. But yeah, the market maker is Wintermute. It's the primary maker that Binance uses. They're the biggest market maker, you know, in the industry, just about. If they're not number one, they're right about there. So maybe you would expect that, but Marty's been highlighting tons of examples of Binance Wintermute fuckery. Anyway, wild story here. People weighing in here. Decentralization versus... Cats, again, I'm with you, kind of. Ghibli. I think that's it. Yeah, dude, I'm fascinated by weird fringe shit. Like, it's cool. It's something cool, and again, does it hurt people? Maybe, and maybe it's bad for that reason. Two things can be true here. Yeah, Hyperliquid isn't fully decentralized. Absolutely correct. Binance OKX are scared of Hyperliquid. They absolutely have to be. Yeah, and so looking to literally kill their competition. Some people like Zach are pointing out, you know, kind of maybe inconsistencies here. And so Hyperliquid did not freeze funds, maybe even help track funds. It was something in that ballpark when it came to stolen funds. They say, hey, we're decentralized, we can't do it. But when it came to their, their money, they could absolutely do it. So it's just a lot going on with this story, and it's one of the things I love about crypto. It's still in places and at times the Wild West. I enjoy it. It's fucking entertaining, I'll say that. But Hyperliquid has seen the same illicit flows, said they're decentralized, can't do anything about it. Meanwhile, CZ goes to prison, right? So a lot of layers to this onion here, but man, pretty wild. Now, Ghibli. God damn it. I still don't get it. So this is the meta all of a sudden. I love it. Probably will come and go. Well, actually, I bet you within a day or two we see another meta here. But we saw the ChatGPT update yesterday. In the past 48 hours, it's an update to GPT 4.0. Basically got a big buff with its image creation. It could already make images. They were not good, man. They were pretty fucking ass. Way better now. If you guys haven't played with it, it's pretty awesome. I've mostly been using for image generation. I've mostly been using Grok. And have I played with Sora? I've done Sora for videos. I'm trying to think if I've done Sora for images. But ChatGPT is now excellent excellent for images. And so now people are throwing, I don't know why Ghibli caught on, right? I don't know why that style caught on, other than somebody did it and it was cool and everybody's off to the races. That suddenly is the meta. Everybody taking every image they can think of, whether it's a meme or my buddy Confusion did like the TV show Friends. He did some pictures from that in this style too. Like anything, anybody. I threw Hide the Pain Herald, and there was one other one I threw at. It's awesome. I did some Larry David images too. Awesome. But a meme coin, of course, is born from this, of course. And boy, it cooked. It cooked. I saw some people get some big wins on this yesterday, which is awesome. No, I don't think the trenches are alive again. That said, there's some guys I watch on stream that they just trade, Pump Fun and Photon and whatnot live. But these guys are making money out there. Guys are really making money out there. But, these guys are locked in. They're playing a different game too. But alive enough that people are trading and making some money for sure. There's thousands made on stream yesterday. But this token was called in the hundreds of thousands, shot up to, well, how high? How high did we get? 25 mil or so? Yeah, 28 mil. 28 mil this got up to. Again, here's an example of some of the images here. I threw a Vitalik image at it too. Look, I mean, you start again seeing where some jobs are going to get replaced. I'm not, again, good conversation with Hunter yesterday, and he mentioned he doesn't really think it's going to play out the way, that extreme version of it, right? Where Elon Musk says, most people are not going to work. I still see that as likely, but Hunter does bring up a really, really good point, which is when you introduce a problem or a solution, there's new problems that come about. And totally right. But I still look as like short-term immediate impact. Like I mentioned last week, working in corporate America and all these data entry kind of jobs and very clerical jobs. And there's guys, millions of those. And those suffer, I think, the fastest. I feel like that stuff's imminent in the next like 2-ish years. And so I said like accounts payable departments and treasury and support departments and and there's millions of jobs here in the States that are in those specific, fields. Those to me are gone very soon. Again, we're talking millions of jobs, millions. I don't know if that's 5 million. That's a lot. But then in media and video production, all of it, it's going to get very, very interesting. And so I'll tell you what, I am rethinking a lot. Man, I'm rethinking everything right now. It's these times when the market's so uncertain, you really start questioning your takes on a lot of things. I'm doing the same with price predictions too. A lot over the past week or two, especially the past few days with Taproot Wizards, I'm really thinking about these price predictions. How ridiculous are they? And I'm doing that again with AI and jobs. But anyway, this is cool. It's a fun meta. It's all over the timeline. Some of these meme coins cooking. There was a Doge. The one they hit on stream, by the way, was Ghibli Doge. I think that's what it was. It was fucking cool. That said, man, routine's fucking dead. None of this is going to last. It's just the meta. It's just the flavor of the minute. These metas come and go so fast, guys. Fun, yes. There's money to be made. Yes, you need to be quicker than ever with this stuff. Get in very early. Get out. Do not hold these things a day or two. No, they don't last. So there's routine. Looks kind of dead. And now, without looking at it, I'm not sure what it's at. 20 mil, 2 mil. I can't quite tell with this. I don't know the supply, but it's pretty rough out there. Again, there's definitely money to be made. Let me get to the NFTs. We got to do that. I'm sorry, guys. Good Vibes Club are up to, by the way, guys, there's some NFTs looking good. Good Vibes Club are at 0.36. Those pumped again. They're up 30-something%, maybe even more, 40%. Taproot Wizards we'll see tomorrow. Anyway, yesterday in NFTs, 12.6 million sales. Sellers down, buyers down, transactions down, average sale price almost flat here with transactions and average sale price. Trade profits $1 million. Courtyard's your top NFT collection, followed by D-Market, Gilded Guardian Heroes, Punks. We'll skip some of these here. OMB, love that. Interesting. Kind of want to dive into that later. Bored Apes, Space Apes, Good Vibes Club, yes, moving. Decent. A lot of garbage, dude, as in like scammy kind of projects, the ones I didn't mention. And some sales rolling in like CryptoPunks. Here's a 135 ETH sale for a really nice hoodie punk. 6935 selling for $271,000. Beautiful. And let me see if we had profits on that bad boy. Yeah, that might be the first time that sold on secondary. Nice hoodie. Real nice hoodie. Yeah, I dig it. Man, imagine having a punk. Okay, now today's the big day. This is it. I mean, yeah, the whitelist sale for Taproot Wizards. Big. It's kind of a big deal. But today's the day we learn. Well, hang on. You guys want Henry to come on? Do we want a Henry? I think we do. Yeah, let's get Henry on. It's been a minute. Let's get Henry on. Dude, I don't know if Henry's met J Squiggle. We'll have J Squiggle in a couple minutes and Henry. That's awesome. All right, so we'll have to do some Taproot Wizards talk with both of them. I like it. All right, for the man. Let's see if he can make it here. I think so. Okay. Great takes from Beanie, like always. I try so hard to get him on the show. I don't know if it'll ever happen. I really want this guy on the show. But, hey, here he is. Yo, good morning, man.
Good morning.
What's good?
What is good? Everything's good. It's Thursday. The sun's shining. It's a good day.
Look at you all
Taproot
fucking
Wizards.
chipper and optimistic. I love it.
Yeah. I'm excited for Wizards auction in an hour.
Oh my God, guys, we might be live. We might actually be live when that auction happens. Holy shit. Yeah, right in an hour. Hang on, let me get J Squiggle a link. You've never met Jared Paz, right?
No.
He's so fucking cool. He comes on every Thursday. We usually talk art. We talk whatever's going on. But,
cool.
You'll like him.
Very cool.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you think about Wizards, man? I think it mints out quick.
Yeah, I imagine like probably an instant sellout. I think, dude, I'm doing a lot of soul searching. The past few days, like a lot of things. I don't see how it doesn't sell out damn near the top. And just a lot of guys on Solana made a lot of money, dude. A lot, and it doesn't take many. What is it? 80 or 90 of them go on sale?
80.
80 of them.
80
yeah.
starting at 0.42. I think it's I'm allowing it in my mind 6 minutes just because who knows, and maybe it drops below 0.4, but I actually think it's going to be instant.
Yeah. Okay. So 260 soul, 80 of these things. 260 souls, is that 40-ish? 40,000. Hang on. Let me
30,000, 30 something thousand, right?
So 260 times souls,
Maybe
let's
40.
say 130. Yeah, 33, almost $34,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you surprised they didn't start it higher?
They did it because of bit 420.
Which is what?
Isn't that the protocol for Opcat?
Oh shit! Yep. Totally right. Yeah.
So I think it was Daza or somebody in the chat yesterday was I'm surprised nobody got that.
Yeah. Okay. Why not start it because I thought they'd start somewhere ridiculous, and we could really test the ceiling on these things. I kind of thought they'd start at 2 Bitcoin. So then, if they're trying to go for that number, why not go start it? Not that they'll sell there, but for 4.2 Bitcoin, which is ridiculous. But
I'll tell you why. Because there's not that you don't know this, but there's an art to Dutch auctions, right? If you go too long where nobody's buying, then you could easily just have nobody buying. Nobody wants to sit there for hours watching a counter time down. So I don't know. I think I like what they're doing. Honestly, I feel I like how they executed it. honestly, like, I just like their mint was clean. There wasn't a lot of FUD in the Discord, and I think they're being thoughtful in their approach.
I like it.
I hope they build nothing, please.
Yeah, that's what I'm not sure that'll happen. By the way, Jared, welcome in. And dude, I don't think you met my brother Henry the Grape before, but maybe for the first time meet Henry the Grape, and Henry meet Jared. Fucking great dude.
Nice to meet you, Jared.
Nice to meet you. I've heard so many positive things about you, just not from Hudah.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's fair. Dude, the weirdest shit happened. I don't understand if this guy typoed me this morning. Nothing to do with what we just said, but do you know the person I was talking about at the gym that I said like was like interested in crypto and all that, Hudah, you know, and then I said like, yeah. And then he had a question, and then he said that, oh, maybe he watched your show, because he said, never mind, Hudah answered my question. And I was like scratching my head like, what? But it must have been, he must have caught something in your show that answered his question.
Yeah.
It just clicked.
So it's weird. Jared, like Henry was mentioning, a guy like local, getting into crypto, and like let him know he watches this show. And I don't think my brother had told him about it. It's just weird seeing that, like, if you're interested in crypto, you might get served this up on YouTube, right? You might. It's weird. It's just always weird to me that there's actually real people who might tune in. It's kind of a head fuck, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, really. But when I got that text when I left the gym, and I couldn't even understand it. I'm like, wait a second, like, how did you guys connect? And then it just dawned on me when I said that he must have got his answer through your show.
Yeah,
of whatever it was. No idea. He had a transaction. I think one of the things that he did was send Ronin from like Coinbase to like his mainnet wallet versus his Ronin wallet. But I don't know that you would have answered that question for him.
Probably not. But
that would have been
I don't think so.
Technical on the podcast. So hey. Not even sure, dude. Not even sure.
Yeah, interesting.
Weird.
Yep. Jared, I gotta ask, what do you think about the whole Wizards thing? Just all of it, the price, the collectible itself, them on bit, like, just thoughts about the whole thing.
I probably have a very bland perspective. My philosophy is good on them. If they have people who want to collect and are willing to pay that price, I mean, 0.2 Bitcoin, I mean, it's a big sum of money, but I think you saw that if there's an appetite for it, then good on them. And I think it's, like we saw it with, the masks from Sam Spratt on the art side. You saw this like huge influx of capital. I mean, I think just alone on that, he raised like $2 or $3 million. And if that, my hope is that like this influx of capital then leads to like the development and propagation of communities. I think that I'm still an optimist, having been burned by some like moonbirds and so many damn PFPs. You start to like develop a negative sentiment, but I guess the optimist in me wants to believe that there's somebody out there who's going to do well, and they've been around long enough. And you know what? Like, it's I won't say which Discords specifically, but like high level individuals were talking about it. And for that, I'm like, you know what? Like, it has some legs, and good on you if it resonates with you. Full disclosure, I am not buying one, but I'm keeping my Bitcoin a little bit closer to the chest. But at the end of the day, I think it's a positive thing. I hope that this sentiment will have some ripple effects and enthusiasm. I mean, you kind of saw it with like, I've been following Good Vibes Club loosely as a result of like you. And so like, to me, it's like, if that can instigate some enthusiasm for the space and bring some attention in, I think that it's a net positive. It's not for me, but at the same time, I hope it does well.
Yeah. It's kind of how it played out a couple of years back with Quantum Cats, big mint, pricey. People flipped them. Ordinals really started cooking. Totally expect that to happen again, even if it's not extreme. And that's what I'm starting to kind of really think through. How crazy? Like, how high can it really get? Like, what's the ceiling? And I don't think it's not NFT season yet, and so I don't think it gets insane. This is not that parabolic time of the market, that euphoria. It's not that yet. So definitely, I've pulled my predictions down a bit. But then I look at puppets at 0.04, and Node Monk's at 0.04. And I'm like, man, it's hard to picture those not catching a bid. It just takes a few of those. I'll even peek at the floor. But a handful of sales to really make that move, and then people start FOMOing a bit, and I kind of am expecting to see this move like noticeably. Maybe
So I talked about this on my show on last Friday. I think a little bit of liquidity goes a long way, and unlike meme coins, that's PvP, like the collectibles market, which essentially, whether it's art, PFPs, I think they're all collectibles to some degree. The difference is that there's some percentage that are locked up for some period of time. I mean, everything has a price, right? Like, you can't say like, oh, if a node monk goes to $1 million, you're not going to sell. There's a lot of sellers probably, right? But the point being, I think that there's going to, like, I was using, I think it was Memories of Chilin was like one of my reference points, like 20 or 30 ETH, which is still, half the price of a punk, could go into that floor and completely move it 100, 200%. Because we saw it happen last week. 5 sales and the floor was up 150%, right? It filled in because we're not in, NFT bull season, but I think a little bit of liquidity is going to go a long way in this space right now. When it happens, I'm a when person, not an if. It's just a matter of my optimism says tomorrow, and I know realistically it's probably not the case.
God, yeah, I'm in the mood for fun. I'm ready for some excitement out here. Now, about what communities are looking at these and talking about them. Don't know if this is real at all. I hope it is, man. But somebody had tweeted, somebody who hit a nice rare Taproot wizard, which again, shout out to DeYank, who this isn't about him, but he hit a, I think, equally rare wizard. So fucking GG's, man. That somebody apparently offered him 3 punks for the rare wizard. Again, that's kind of hard to picture, but also I still, tell me if this is insane, Jared, but if there's somebody out there who's holding a lot of punks, like dozens of punks, do they value them at the price they're at now, or do they think of them in a way at maybe where they bought them around, or sometimes in between, situational?
I personally, I think it's more of they value it where it's currently at. They've been around long enough. I think when you go from like $10 to $100 to $1,000, maybe you're not quite thinking the same. But at this point, I don't know. It'd be like the equivalent of saying, like, do people value Bitcoin? Like, if you bought Bitcoin at $10, do you value it at 10? You aren't just slinging around Bitcoin at this point. Like, it's a $84,000, $85,000, $86,000 asset, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta imagine they do the same. I'm not saying that there's not somebody who isn't that way. Obviously, I don't think that there's like a certainty or a generality that like applies to everybody. But if I had a couple hundred punks, I would be valuing them as a couple $100,000 assets a piece.
I dig it. Okay, so 50 minutes off from the auction. I love that it's on Solana too, right? You can buy them using Sol. And I saw a guy who tweeted that he is going for him. He showed his, I don't know what's real. I mean, who fucking knows now, but had his wallet balance there. He's got like 70, 80 grand in Sol. And I think it's smart to open this up to those guys, right? It's that's what's interesting is some of those guys probably value their Sol differently than their Bitcoin. We do know people think differently of Bitcoin. Yeah, maybe that really does help. So do you have any predictions on where these sell out, Jared? And does this Solana thing help them? Henry's thinking they go pretty close to the top. I think so too.
I think that the Solana thing definitely helps. I think that 1, you're tapping into a degen culture, and 2, you have some people who are probably pretty far up on the. So I'm argue the opposite side of the question you just asked about the punks. I think you have a lot of people in Solana these days. I mean, who are maybe got caught around. Maybe they didn't catch the bottom at 8 or 9, but they're in around 20. And they're thinking to themselves, oh, this is only, you saw it pop up 18,000 or whatever it was. But it's not 18,000. It's really only the equivalent of 4, right? Like, so I think that there are going to be some of those, or people who were fortunate in the meme world to convert some stuff. I think the Solana thing definitely helps. I think it's actually really cool that they're doing like multi-chain payment systems. As far as where it goes out, I was thinking it was probably in the 0.3 to 0.35 is, again, where I'm thinking. I just think that there's going to be a supply constraint. There's a little bit of hype there. Maybe it does go at 0.42 or thereabouts. I mean, that's going to be pretty interesting to watch.
And
I guess some of it too depends on like, you know, how important is it to Udi that that this thing sells out at 0.42. You know what I mean? If that's 80 is not, it's not a huge supply, and so like it would just be, I don't know, it'd be surprising to me that a team would want to watch that drop. But they honestly, it also could be like, yeah, no, it is what it is, and wherever it goes is where it goes. So it totally could go in that 0.3 to 0.35 range. I don't think that's unreasonable.
I think that what happens is you're going to get the people who need to have it, right? Like need to have it right out the gate. And so I could easily see 20 to 40 of them just flying, and then people getting crazy FOMO and just jumping right in. So, you know, I think fair market would probably be around the 0.3 to 0.35, but, you know, never underestimate the fear of FOMO, especially in this space. So I think that's a very astute point.
Here's Tolly rocking a PFP. He's got a Taproot wizard. He got an honorary, really fucking cool one too, with the Solana logo all over it. It's fucking spicy. We got some more honoraries that are getting created, and it'll go out over the years too. You know, it's not all a right now thing. And Ronan, I think so. I will probably be live when that auction's happening. If so, yeah, we'll just follow along as much as we can here. And I'm just waiting to see. I'm waiting to see like some big old X factor. Like, does Udi announce like more, like not more supply, but more about in the Taproot Wizard ecosystem? Like Jared, a lot of people are now speculating that there's a token coming, maybe even a platform. And it's like that's the kind of thing you announce it maybe like right before the public sale, or right like right around it. That would be spicy.
I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of like badass if you can like announce it afterwards, and it just creates this like crazy enthusiasm, and the floor runs up. You bring all this hype and attention to it, and it's funny you mentioned this, but like the second you told me they were accepting, or I saw on screen they're accepting Solana, and now with the honorary, I'm like, man, there's got to be some sort of like, whether it's a token or something, there's got to be some there's something whether it's announced or not. And again, I'm not in the know, pure speculation, not financial advice. Don't go out and buy one thinking you're gonna get some token, but it just feels like there's a couple levers that could be pulled here that haven't been discussed.
There were definitely some hints too. He was hinting in a post like a month ago. Somebody was talking about these like NFTs as vehicles to kind of deliver tokens, and Udi was replying to it, and he made a comment. He's like, "Do we have to spell it out for them?" So really hinting hard at that. And then like 2 weeks ago, they invested in Odin.fun, which is like a pump fund on Bitcoin. Yeah, it just seems likely. Henry, if you're a betting man, would you bet on them doing some kind of token?
Yeah, I would bet on them doing a token. I'm just not certain that they want to do anything out of the gate. Because like if I was Udi, I'd want to wait and see what happens on secondary, let the dust settle, let people bitch and moan. You know, let people dump if they're going to dump, and then wait some time, because you got to have some things up your sleeve. If you kind of like waste your load out of the gate, then you're maybe waiting a long while before you can announce something. So I kind of feel like you got to give it some time, and maybe give it at least a couple weeks before you're dropping news like that. I would be surprised if it was like, oh, they're released and then he comes out with news. Because like he's got like if the secondary is doing really well, why would you want to waste that bit of news right then? Versus like, okay, I'm gonna let sentiment settle to wherever it settles. I'm gonna reward the people who had conviction, and then I'm gonna announce it.
That's a good point.
If that's a direction they're going.
No, that's a really, really good point. So maybe at most like teases, but no announcement. But yeah, dude, it's a really good point. Why do that right now? It's got its own hype behind it.
Exactly.
Right now.
Yeah. There's only so many like momentum moments that you get during a mint, and you really, we talk about it in Kongs. Like you got to take, what's this stuff in Lord of the Rings that no, they're not midgets. What are they called? The dwarves. Sorry. Yeah, I know you're not allowed to say that word anymore.
Definitely not midgets.
The dwarves. What's the metal that the dwarves have? That like real mid whatever it's called. That
mithril.
Like mithril. Yeah. I'm like, you gotta like take every little grain of momentum, and you have to make it into an alloy that can last as long as possible, because like you don't get a lot of moments to capture it. So I just think, And Udi is smart. Like, I don't care what anybody says about Udi, and if they hate him, and if they think it's a grift, and he hasn't built shit, I'm like, it's such a stupid way to look at this. If you don't look at what he's done and at least give some respect to the fact that, like, you probably couldn't do it. I don't mean you. I mean, like, most of us couldn't do it. Then you just don't understand how the space works, because that is tough to keep hype going for 2 years. And he hasn't really delivered anything from a product standpoint, but you don't always need to. He's delivered an experience for people, a community, and speculation, and that's like 85% of what this all is.
Good thoughts. Okay, I've been screenshotted. Somebody calling out my predictions on ordinals, the crazy prices. I know. I put those out there, and so it gets me really rethinking this shit. It really does, because like you see it written out, calling quantum cats to do 2 Bitcoin, especially right now. That sounds fucking insane. Like that sounds. It sounds crazy. I am rethinking things. I'll tell you, I still kind of see it. I really do see it. I do. There, like, some context is left out of that, being I don't think they're going there now. I'm not sure they go there this cycle. And that prediction of 1 to 2 Bitcoin, it's like, and you guys know because I say it kind of often and we talk often enough, it's peak euphoric part of the cycle. That might be for a 24-hour period of time, or it might be a week. It might be whatever it is. That is at the absolute peak when things get crazy. We've all felt it. It's a short window. It's a couple weeks out of a cycle, a multi-year cycle. It happens. And we've not felt that yet. That's when those targets come into play. And that's it, just at that specific period. The only way I still see them not getting there, and by the way, I do think they get there. The only way it doesn't happen is if NFTs as a whole never have that run. NFTs as a whole never has that euphoric, like 21, 22 era cycle. And I have a hard time seeing that not happening again. Again, I don't think it's here now. I don't know if it's next year, if that's when NFTs peak for this cycle. That might be a whole cycle or so away, but I still believe with everything that still comes again, and that Bitcoin for the first time will get to have NFTs that exist during an NFT cycle that hasn't been there before. I'm trying to look at other data points to help me, like, give me some more confidence in the claim. Something like I looked up today, the market cap of NFTs compared to the market cap of the token. I don't know if that's a good data point or not, but it's a data point. It's something I'm looking at. And right now, the value of the NFT market equals like 1.5% of the value of Ethereum. It's not huge, but it's small. Bitcoin right now is like 0.3%. The value of the ordinals ecosystem to the supply of Bitcoin, something like, or the market cap of Bitcoin. I'm just looking at that just to feel out if there really is room for it to grow. And I think Bitcoin is so unique in that I don't think you're going to see supply like you see on Ethereum. You're not going to have that many NFTs. And I think that value is going to be concentrated in those top collections. So I still see the scenario where that can play out in those top 5-ish or so collections. Tremendous value for a short window of time.
Can I give an example?
Thinking through. Yeah.
Like couple examples. So one, on a large collection scale, you've got Bored Apes, right? Which ran to, were they 125 ETH, give or take? Maybe, yeah. Let's just call it 125 ETH when ETH was in the $3,000 to $4,000 range. Let's just say $3,000. 10K collection in the euphoric part of that 21 cycle. I think Genesis Kongs are actually sort of a little bit closer to what we see on Bitcoin with smaller collections. A 1K collection that ran to 200 ETH when ETH was at just about 4K. So it's a real niche collection, had a token with it, obviously. But the thing is, like, I didn't think we would see that type of action on, I don't want to say lesser chains, but chains that don't value, like Solana. I didn't think we were going to see prices run to those types of ranges. What we haven't seen is NFTs, ordinals, on a chain that's the king of chains. It's a greater chain. It's got a larger market cap. It has larger whales. When I went to Bitcoin conferences and I saw the kind of people that are there and like they're alligator skin shoes, and I'm like, there's a different class of wealth on Bitcoin, a lot of which I don't fully understand myself. But I think that euphoric part of the market with a small collection when you have, and Hudah, you and I have talked about it, like it just takes a LeBron James rocking a puppet or a Taproot wizard or a node monkey. It takes just like a person, and then all of a sudden it's the cool thing. And that is literally all you need to spark everybody going like, oh shit, somebody who wasn't already in NFTs that decides they want a luxury item on Bitcoin, and boom, everybody's going to FOMO. So it may not be now, maybe it's in 26, maybe it's one cycle ahead, who knows? But I think Bitcoin has a real unique opportunity on the collectible side. And I just don't, if we saw it already, if it was what happened a year ago, that would be really concerning. It maybe isn't the word, but it would be weird if that was what Bitcoin was going to do with ordinals. There were so few of us in, and it was mostly people from Ethereum that came over. I don't think we had Bitcoin native people there.
Yep. Dude, good
I
point.
also think that the observation of like people forget like one celebrity endorsement. I mean, Bored Apes at one particular time, it had like Eminem and all these other like personalities, like Jimmy Fallon. Like they just had so many personalities rocking it. It really did stir up that FOMO, which is hard to communicate to others if you weren't around. But like a little bit of liquidity, a lot of enthusiasm, and FOMO. I mean, to your point about 200 ETH floor on the Genesis Kongs, it's like I could 100% see that happening. I mean, there's some stuff in the art side too that was like, in hindsight, it just looks completely silly. But these, when you see these charts go absolutely vertical, it's something to take note of. And there's just a lot of FOMO just being dropped and like rushed into these things, and you'll start to see attention hop from one thing to another.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, like look at like autoglyphs, right? We had major sales of glyphs back in the day. Do you think if we get a celebrity that already was in NFTs, that's going to have the impact the same way as somebody who was never in? So if you took like a Snoop Dogg or an Eminem rocking an ordinal versus a Kanye's too polarizing, who would be somebody like A tier? Elon Musk is too big. Who would be like somebody in that sort of like a Dr. Dre? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like somebody who wasn't deep in NFTs at all.
I actually think LeBron's a perfect example because he's like big enough. I mean, he's not like polarizing. He's pretty much like down the middle, still well respected, but he carries enough clout like that. Or on the other side, like a Kim Kardashian, like somebody who has like enough clout where you're like, wait, why? Like, what are we not seeing? I remember like when some celebrities or I'll call it personalities were like endorsing something, you're like, wait, why this? Right? Like it prompted the why. I didn't buy Bored Apes, but like other people like would just jump right in, and I think it's something to think about.
Yeah, picture like a Playboy Cardi, some like the biggest superstar on the planet. Like again, one of them rocking an ordinal, and it's to me still a matter of when. Like at some point, it just happens. Not him, maybe, but it's a good point, Henry. It doesn't take many of those kind of guys, and it's like that stuff can happen in a blink of an eye. So, not betting on that. I just think it will happen. Man, could get spicy fast whenever. So now I'm going to take a screenshot of this guy's thing and save it. And when that happens, we'll ask if that's him. We'll see. It could get fun down the road here. Any other final thoughts on Taproot Wizards, guys?
At the very least, it's going to be a fun show to watch, and I will be sitting there with the popcorn on the sidelines, just taking it all in, because I think it will be exciting. And again, I'm the optimist. I think it's, hey, whatever brings attention to the space. If it just gets one more person to say, why is this stupid picture worth $100,000, and it gets them to dig in, and long term, a couple of them convert to collectors and appreciators, I think it's a win.
Yeah, and you know what? The real spice will be tomorrow when secondary starts cooking. So tomorrow's the big day. Today we'll see the auction. Tomorrow we'll see them delivered. We'll see. I think a lot of them will hit the market. I did tweet out, and I believe it. Like I think people are gonna have to wrestle with this. You'll have a problem on your hands. As in, you sell, there is a chance you never get back in. It is, it is the top PFP of Bitcoin, and because of that, they can move fast enough where you're priced out quickly. I'm thinking exactly that. I am. I'm like, okay, it'd be nice to sell, make some money. But again, if you sell, you maybe are never getting back in. So yeah, tomorrow will be super interesting. Oh, price predictions tomorrow. Secondary. We talk where it sells at, but what do you guys see on secondary?
Man, there's a lot of people whose basis is 0.1, right? You figure I don't think we have exact numbers, but probably 750, I would guess, were minted at 0.1, give or take. Because how many were entangled? I think like 850, around that number.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, like, once that washes out, where do we settle? Because I could totally see it like being in that mid 0.2 range where someone's like, hey, I'm happy to take 10, 15K profit. Those people wash out, and now you're starting to eat into the people who have a basis of 0.2 Bitcoin. But I feel like it's not going to surprise me if we're in the 0.3 range, but it's not going to surprise me if we're in the 0.4 range. So I know that's a massive range, 0.3 or
No,
0.4,
dude,
but
everybody's guessing. I mean, there's market makers too. It's like you can only guess when there's so many factors that you just have no insights into, nothing. So
yeah,
I like the
yeah.
prediction. I like it. You got any
Yeah,
number in mind?
I'm way out over my skis, so I'm not even gonna.
Like
I'm not
that.
even gonna make a prediction quite yet.
I like it. I like it. All right, it'll be fun later today. It'll be fun tomorrow. We'll keep you guys posted on all of that. Jay Squiggle, what's going on in your world? And I just did see an art story, art related. So Henry,
Yeah, Hudah, I gotta fly. Sorry, I just was gonna pop on to say
I
hi.
assume,
So,
yeah, dude. I'm glad you
yep,
stopped by to chat. I'll
yeah,
catch you later on.
yeah. Jared, great meeting you, bro.
Nice meeting you too, man.
All right, see you guys.
Love you, man. Bye. Exchange art. I'm trying to remember if Exchange Art was that the God, I'm trying to remember if that was the platform that was like backed by like Ledger and Coin Telegraph or so, and I might be getting platforms mixed up. Do you remember what Exchange Art is?
I do not actually, because it was I do, but because it was art on Solana. I'm trying to remember the story. I honestly don't recall.
Okay. You know what? Looking at the site, it's not who I was picturing. It's not. So, okay. It's not what I thought it was. God, what was I picturing though?
And I was thinking foundation originally when you said exchange. So
yeah, there was one wherever, like when Yui Minjun launched a piece during the bear market. It was the one he launched on. I think again, it wasn't Exchange Art. I thought it was, but
yeah, I think it's an interesting discussion topic about how. I mean, I think there's a lot of well-intentioned people. I think there's a lot of like not well-intentioned people, but it's cool to see like this art in particular live on. Through people trying to like pick up the the reins and keep it going. So
art lives.
yeah.
Pretty cool. Dude, what's been going on in the world of art? I've seen a lot of X copies moving. Like, what's happening out there, and what's happening in your world?
I think that and last week had a lot of movement, but this week the story is punks to me. I mean, you've seen the punks floor go up a considerable amount. You've seen some. I think you saw that zombie sell for I think 420 ETH. Within the last 7 days. And then like you're seeing like that super clean hoodie or the 3D with like the frizzy hair for 120. Like you could, I think that there's some people picking up what they consider to be grails or, I mean, look at that. It was like, Punk's OTC had the zombie, for 6 months before flipping it. I think he bought it for like 240 and flipped it for 420. So, I mean, granted, ETH's at a lot different spot than then, but if you're just looking at your ETH accumulation bags going into, arguably a bull market, like it's a good place to be. So I think it's punks to me. Like I was looking at the punks floor, I was like, do I want to like move some stuff around? Do I want to leverage this? And then
Get
it
a
just
punk,
like,
dude. You got to get a punk.
it kind of like ran away from me. It's funny because I was talking to somebody about this. I have like, I'm big on discipline, and I just have this like plan. It's not to say I can't change my plan, but I have a plan because it's not to me about buying one punk. It's about having there's a really great collector that I interviewed named Von Mises, and he had what I call a punk family. So he has a punk for every single person in his household, like his wife and his daughter. So there's 3 of them. I have a little bit bigger family, so I gotta like, but I have the aspirations to have a punk family, and I'm like, okay, if I need to get a punk family, like I need to not buy one punk now. I need to like multiply what I've got, what I'm working with to get to that point. So I have some goals for my kids. I want them to have, I won't say everything, but like at least one punk and one squiggle. Like that's, and I got the squiggle part down. It's just now like, how do I add to that collection?
Yeah. Wow. Pretty fucking cool goal there. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Punk's floor over 42 ETH now. A lot. I'm curious how many did sell this past week, but yeah, it's been, you know what? So they've been moving, but still we haven't gotten a day like we saw, last fall. We had a day where we had like 100 plus Punk sell. And I feel like that's loading. Like it's a matter of time till we see another one of those days here. And as great as the sales were, it wasn't even that. Like they still have room to fly. Like 57-ish sales in the past 7 days, ballpark. Pretty damn good. But
when we talk about it, I mean that's like, 57 sales feels like it's just like in like the warm up. Like we're not even in the first inning, And I know it sounds crazy to say because that's like a shitload of money to just be thrown around, but I'm telling you, when Solana hits like $800-900 and people are just feeling like crazy wealthy, you can imagine where your favorite coin is at that point. I think you're gonna just see a lot of FOMO. Oh, I need a punk now. I mean, that's how these floors get to be so high. But yeah, I mean, to bring it back full circle, I mean, it's still X copy season, but it's insane to see some of this stuff moving. I think the one that I was really intrigued by is that piece Think that sold for 300 ETH. And the reason why I'm intrigued by it is if I remember correctly, it's just like it was the transaction of like who and why where it went from.
was this the defaulted loan?
I didn't think so. But it was somebody who held a lot of X copy, and what ended up happening is they sold it to somebody. I think it's an undisclosed person, in the interest of like diversifying the X ecosystem. And that to me was a really interesting dynamic. And I'm trying to pull it up. I want to say it was 4945, but I could be off on this one. But I found it to be a really intriguing. Somebody posted about it, I think either from Doomed or wherever, but essentially, now that I'm looking at the history, it does say it went through Gandhi. I wonder if it was just on loan or if it got paid off.
Yeah, I might be getting a couple big sales mixed up.
No, that's fine. I thought this one got placed with a good collector for well intentions, but maybe I'm wrong. Holy cow,
dude! I know what I'm partially thinking of the D's twin Punk. That one was definitely a defaulted loan, or
that one for sure was. That one 100% was, and that was really interesting. I forget who defaulted on it, but it was somebody who, like, I think D's or somebody commented that they were just like a grifter in the space, but they took a $500,000 USD loss on it. Like that's. I mean, that's real money.
That dude, it's like an actual like federal informant, and so D's didn't love that his twin was that. So
yeah, that's right. He called him a federal informant, and I didn't know if he actually was a.
He is. He actually is. Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, I think that I mean, you're seeing it right below the think piece. There was the sale of God, what is that one called? The X copy piece, the State of Us. That's like and then there's a couple other editions that I think maybe didn't sell over the chain, but like one edition of 10 or 20 that sold for a very reasonable X copy price. So yeah, man, there's I think it's that one that's up right there for 2070. And it's interesting because like this is a smaller edition, but they just listed a so X's edition. Some of them are going crazy, but like the Mortal, like Gandhi just listed one for $1.2 million edition of 10. Right? I mean, does it sell? Does it not? I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting times, man. I'm I think a local bottom's in, so I'm excited to see the next leg up.
God, that'd be awesome. I hope so. I had Hunter RL on the stream yesterday, which was awesome. He likes art. I saw he actually, I think, had Snowfro on a stream yesterday, which is cool. And I want to get him back on and pick his brain about art. Yeah, we didn't get to spend enough time on it, but those oh geez, I like to hear what things speak to them here in the art space. He mentioned generative art. I don't know if he said, guys, did he say X copy too? Is he an X copy collector? God, I'm trying to remember. Have you chatted with Hunter before?
I have not.
Oh, you would dig him I'm sure you've seen him out there, but yeah, I have a feeling, dude. I would imagine you guys run in similar circles in the art world. I'm kind of surprised.
The thing is like, so I'm doing my weekly show, but I haven't brought many guests on. I have like the pre-stipulated co-host, so I don't do a lot of like facilitation for like guests, which is something that I tried to do it on my Tuesday show, but it's just kind of, it got to be a very big coordination effort. And at this point I had to focus on building some other things. So,
yep.
But yeah, I definitely, it's funny because I was DMing with somebody last night about some of the Rich Caldwell stuff. And I was like, how have we never talked before? Like, how is there no history here? Right. I was just like, I've consumed your content. I've liked it. Maybe through like responses and comments, like we've engaged, but it was just like, never over DM. So I was like, oh my gosh, like
that stuff's always fun. Like, because it's such a small community. You would assume you've talked to all the people who've been around for years, but sometimes it just doesn't happen, and it happens when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been seeing a lot of the tennis pieces, like really, really beautiful outputs on X. And how is that going? And yeah, what's the status of this? And just thoughts here.
So it's a series of 70 one-of-ones. We're in like a private placement. So if there's any interest in it, some of the pieces are getting bought up. I won't say who quite yet because it's not public, but called a bigger collector just like locked down 5 pieces.
Damn.
And we're like locking down. I think there's a couple people in discussions with 3 or 2. So I'm interested to see. You can see it on screen right now, right? Like we're doing this like a little competition. Like put a set together. See, Rich will judge it. But you can see that this is intended to be collected in sets. Yes, that's a play on the word set for a tennis set. But, I think these are really dope. I think that like it's the beauty is in the simplicity. The exceptional nature of it is really in like the orientation and the color. I think Rich did a phenomenal job capturing color. But yeah, these are available for private placement. We're doing a lot up until April 3rd, and then at April 10th. They'll be public. So the intent is to place the majority of them in advance. So, kind of like what your brother was talking about. It's like we want to stay on the top of people's timelines. We want to keep that enthusiasm, the vibes, the attention.
And then what's your next like more typical drop?
So Corey Haber is going to drop next. He's a long form generative artist. And that will be coming in early May. We haven't set an exact date for that, but early May. Off. So I'm excited for that. And then I have a kid, or a baby's due roughly around that. Yeah. And then I'll probably take a little bit of a break for June and then hop back at it with some other releases.
Dude, you got a busy first half of the year, man. But like, dude, well, never ending.
Yeah. Yeah, so a little bit of grace in June for people, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Dude, so cool. Anything else going on in the world of art, in the world of Jared, art, non-art?
It's been Jared. By the way, I want to say I saw like that new AI program that like rendered you as like some huge ripped guy, and then I heard you and Henry talking about going to the gym. So I'm like, man, all I see is this black hoodie. I was like, who knows? You got this? Yeah, that one. You got this ripped mofo right underneath, right? Like, so I had to giggle when your brother was talking about going to the gym and people mentioning you at the gym. I was like, oh,
dude, so. I was working out a lot at the end of last year, and then I work out in the garage, and it gets to like 20, 25 below. Like, it gets fucking cold, and I would still work out in that, and I fucked my back up one day doing that. So I've been like a few months off waiting for it to warm up. It's time to get it again.
Yeah, no, I believe me.
to that
I'm in the same spot where I was like, okay, my winter layer's there. I need to like get back into my sauna session, get back into working out, pull ups, push ups, some of the basics. Just get your body moving,
Dude, especially with a baby on the way. It's like the discipline's got to be like on fucking point.
Oh, dude, it's yeah. Adding a third to the mix is, when two are like finally sustainable, so it's like, I'm excited, and at the same time, I'm like, I need to like just dial in the routine a little bit further.
Yes, sir. All right. Let's see what else we got, guys. I'm not 100% sure if Swarm Report will be this afternoon. I'm hoping so because there's interesting shit everywhere in AI, like the ChatGPT image generation, of course. Like we mentioned yesterday, I do want to get a little deeper in that, but like space is changing here. Echoes.fun shutting down. Like we're going to start seeing the AI space contract. I think a lot more coming up here. So interesting to see that, but stay tuned. Again, I'll let you know if dude, the auction's in 15 minutes. I kind of want to be live for it. Whatever. I'll probably just fire off a new stream. Anyway, Jared, great to see you. Great to chat with you. Always appreciate your insights.
Thank you. Yeah, it was cool to talk PFPs today in Bitcoin. It's a little bit, like I said, I know what I know, and I'm not going to make a final price prediction because that would be so far out over my skis. I would be completely misleading, fake news everywhere with that. But if you have art questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm happy to answer art questions. I'm a little bit more knowledgeable on that.
Yeah, you got that part locked down. Cool shit. Guys, follow Jared at Jared_Poz, P-O-Z, and his incredible platform, 8nap Art. That's 8nap_art. Follow it. Pay attention. Keep up on it. Great collections coming on over there, and a couple more I think are dropping later this year that we'll be talking about plenty.
Yeah. We'll keep you abreast of everything.
There we go. Guys, have a great day. Stay tuned for another 1 or 2 streams coming up today. Fingers crossed. Guys, have a great one. We'll see you.